what's up, guys? If you hear any booming noises in the background, it's probably fireworks or somebody mixing in some gunshots with the fireworks. It's the 4th of July evening, and I have my window open. Anyway, people laughed at me the other day when I made a video right after the PACQUIAO versus Horn fight, and I said Bob Arum, the Bob father, was up to something, and people were critical, and I'm telling you how this is going to play out. All right, it's the PACQUIAO Arum Roach situation. It's probably going to play out similar to Sergey Kovalev. Not that Manny PACQUIAO will get rid of his trainer in Freddie Roach, but what I mean is there's going to be some questions of loyalty. There's just going to be some mistrust and very things are going to fall apart on both sides. All right, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is how it's going to play out. Now, the Kovalev thing isn't over. Remember, I told you, the person that you want to listen to is John David Jackson. Trust me, he's going to come out maybe in a few weeks, maybe in a few months, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? But he's going to give a side to the story that's going to kind of clarify some things for those who are confused and don't know, like you're like teetering on the fence. You don't know which side of the fence. And once John David Jackson talks, trust me, you're either going to really like this guy or really hate this guy, depending on what he divulges. But I think he's going to say something. It might be a little explosive. And then Kovalev, main events, whoever else may play off of what he says. And I bet my man's going to chime in too, Abel Sanchez, Golovkin's trainer. So just let it play out. Wait till John David Jackson. Now let me go back to PACQUIAO. So your real boxing experts, they were critical of comments such as Bob Arum being behind it, because they're like, well, how does that benefit Arum? I mean, PACQUIAO's his cash cow and so on and so forth. But this happened before. It happened before with the Timothy Bradley Jr. decision. That most people thought PACQUIAO won that fight cleanly. I think there's an argument there, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. And it happened again Saturday. Listen, if ESP, this isn't a time buy. There's a big difference between what Waddell and Reed is doing. I mean, if you want to credit Al Heyman, that's fine. And what Top Rank is doing. What Al Heyman, Team Heyman, his team is doing is they used Waddell and Reed's money for time buys. But they didn't give the quality all the time that fans wanted. And the idea, at least I thought it was, is use these time buys, put your events on different networks, put some good fights on, very good fights on, and then have those, and then look for sponsors. And then when you get sponsors or when you get high ratings, then you can start selling your shows to the networks, because now they can charge higher. They can charge higher for sponsors, advertisements, what have you. And so now you can sell your packages, your boxing shows to these networks. Hasn't worked out that way. What Bob Arum is doing, Top Rank, is he didn't do a time buy for this. He's not paying for anything. ESPN paid him, let's say $10 million or so, for the rights to the American feed of the boxing card, which was in Australia. So ESPN wanted those rights, and you got a big name like Manny PACQUIAO, and you got 4.5, 4.4, whatever the number is, million people. So now they can go and say, listen, if we have this many people watching Manny PACQUIAO versus a guy that most people have never heard of, once we mix PACQUIAO in again, Terrence Crawford, what's my man, Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko, they can up the ante. Now they can recoup some of their money, as far as they're concerned, from those who want their product to be on during the commercials. So if you're Bob Arum and you're getting $10 million from ESPN for the rights to show the fight on their network to the American people, and then you got a gate of like 52, 53, 54,000 coming in. I mean, why wouldn't you want Manny to lose a close one and, hey, let's do it all over again? Maybe I'll get a little more for $10 million for the rights for ESPN or ABC to show the rematch, and we'll put it in front of 55,000 again. So I'll get that live gate, and with all the other pieces of it that I'm not even going to talk about. But trust me, there's a lot of hidden money in boxing. So, mind you, whatever he gets from Manny. Now, Manny Pacquiao's contract is almost up, and there was a belief some years ago that when it came time to re-sign, he was going to re-sign with someone else. Of course, Manny didn't have the best deal in the world with Bob Arum. Percentage-wise, he didn't have the best deal, and I think there was a point where Arum was actually fronting Manny money with the understanding that he still gets his percentage, plus you have to pay him back what he fronted you. So, but here's the person you want to listen to. Remember, I said the key is John David Jackson with the Kovalev situation. He hasn't come out yet, but trust me, he's going to add another angle to it, and you're going to really know what it's hitting for. Then you're going to know if you're going to then believe that either he reached out to the Ward camp and what have you, or they reached out to him. But I think it's going to bring there's going to be less ambiguity as far as what's what, and then you're going to say, you know what, I really like this guy John David, or you're going to be like, man, that John David is a snake. Trust me, it's you're going to hear something that this is what's going to happen. Believe me. I mean, you can make a prediction and be wrong in boxing. I've been wrong, but when I hit you with the trust me and this stuff is going to happen and so on and so forth. What did I tell you over a month ago? Whenever I said the IBF is going to order a rematch, and the Maryland State Athletic Commission is going to rule it a no contest. Now, Maryland, for some reason, to my knowledge, has taken forever, and they still haven't made a decision. But the IBF did order the rematch, the Andre Durrell rematch. Probably won't be in Maryland, but so I'm telling you. So now Bob Arum has kind of thrown Freddie Roach under the bus. Of course, Freddie Roach is going to respond and call Bob Arum. Arum said Pacquiao was overconfident and his corner said stupid things. I can buy the overconfident thing. I don't know what he's talking about. His corner said that was stupid. I have to see what he's talking about there. But I can guarantee you one thing. Hear me out now. Arum's going to come back with something else. He's going to be more specific. Or I think he might have said something today. I think he said something about Freddie Roach. And he's throwing him under. And he's throwing Manny under. But because I think the time is getting close where there's just going to be a departure. Remember, I said don't be shocked if Andre Ward fights for top rank within a year's time. I could be wrong. I might be wrong. But if Jay Prince brought Bryant Jennings to top rank, Jay Prince brought Shakur Stevenson to top rank. So with that great relationship that Jay Prince has with Bob Arum, who do you think he's going to bring next? If he brings somebody, don't be shocked if Andre Ward is a top-ranked fighter after Rock Nation folds as far as the boxing is concerned. But the key person, just like JDJ was the key person to listen to for the Kovalev thing, the key person you want to listen to here is not Bob Arum, it's not Manny Pacquiao, and it's not Freddie Roach. But I guarantee you Freddie Roach is going to fire back at Arum with something. I mean, it might even be in the cooking right now. It might even be in the works. Somebody might be reaching out to him. I used to have Freddie's number. I might even call him just to start some trouble, since everybody likes going to like 3 or 4 specific websites. Maybe it's time for the Fight Journal to break some news, even though we have, but we don't have the 10,000 followers like everyone else. We have them on Twitter, but we want the subscriptions to our YouTube. So tell your friends. Tell your friends. We broke some news before. It's just, it doesn't reach the masses like it could, but we're going to do some big things in the future. But the key person to listen to, not Manny, not Arum, not Roach. You want to listen to a guy named Michael KONCZ, because Mike KONCZ he's Manny's dude, first of all. Manny trusts him. Secondly, Arum and KONCZ aren't the best of friends, so Bob Arum will say something's happening, and then Michael KONCZ will come back and say something else is happening, and then Arum will be like, well, I don't know what he's talking about. I talked to Manny the other day. And Michael KONCZ, who's kind of more of like an arrogant, laid-back voice, like, well, I talked to Manny, and Manny's going to do what I say. He like that's his voice tone. So this is going to get a little bit ugly. It's starting to get ugly now, but accusations will be thrown around, innuendo. Bottom line is Manny Pacquiao going to retire? Absolutely not. And all of that, well, he's considering it. And Freddie mentioned to him, look, man, that's all Hollywood. He's either going to fight this rematch with Horn, or he's going to do something else. I'm hoping they can mend whatever it is, because I really would like to see Manny take it to the next level against the Lomachenko, against the Crawford, against the Mikey Garcia, someone, preferably somebody at 140 or 135 and not 147. The man, he's always been too small. I mean, the guy started his career at what, like 105, 108, whatever. I mean, he's amazing for the things that he's done, but Horn looked like a super middleweight in the ring against Manny, and that says a lot for how Horn blew up, but it also says a lot about how small Manny is. So in my opinion, and I know I look at journalism a little different from most people, but I think the hottest 2 interviews right now, the hottest 2 interviews where if you were around these guys and you got them talking, I mean, the interviews would be fire if you asked the right question. The hottest 2 interviews right now are John David Jackson and Michael KONCZ. I'm telling you. And if somebody gets them, remember where you heard it first. And I want y'all to give me shout outs on other channels. Be like, yo, the Fight Journal was talking about that. Let them know. Let them know. Because I start tripping off this Arum stuff well before anybody said anything. Now everybody's coming out with this, hey, Bob Arum this, Bob. You heard it here first. I did my video immediately after, what do you call it, the fight. And then I kind of dozed off and waited for it to process and so on and so forth. But so I'm not exactly quick draw McGraw with my videos, but I'm telling you, if you're a journalist out there, a wannabe journalist, just a YouTube boxing guy who loves stuff, what you want to do is reach out and you want to get John David Jackson and you want to get Michael KONCZ. And if you want to reach out to me, I can tell you what questions to ask them. I might do it myself. I might surprise y'all. I might surprise myself if I do it. But I kind of rather just sit back and let it play out. But anybody that's on YouTube that's listening to this, I have a little shy of 500 followers, like 450 something. But I know you guys out there with the tens of thousands of listeners. I know you guys be listening on the sly. It's okay. It's all right. It's nothing but boxing gospel over here. I can love you one day, hate you the next day. I mean, I'm gonna call it the way I see it. But if you guys shoot me some email, and I'll tell you what questions to ask both of those guys, and I guarantee you their responses will be fire. But I may reach out to KONCZ. I've interviewed Michael KONCZ before. I'm trying to think if I put it. This would have been May 20. It was Maidana. I think it was Maidana. It was either Guerrero or Maidana. So that would have been like May 2013 or 2014. I think I did a little Michael KONCZ interview. We were in 50 Cent's gym at the time. I'm going to have to scroll back during my timeline to see if I put it up or if I just did it on my mobile phone and just saved it on my computer or somewhere. But I know KONCZ from back when we used to try to get Manny to come on ESPN Radio. I used to book guests for ESPN Radio. So I'm telling you, 2 hot interviews. John David Jackson, Michael KONCZ, because once both of them start speaking, you're gonna be enlightened on a few things. Not that those guys aren't capable of lying, but I think when you kind of get past certain situations, the truth comes to light. And I'm telling you, you heard it here first. I guarantee you, Freddie Roach is going to fire back. Mark, take that to the bank based on what Arum said. And he might just say, man, he's senile. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Something like that. And then Michael KONCZ, I'm hoping he starts talking about how, man, he's just getting thrown under. I got a feeling he's going to talk. And I know for sure John David is going to talk. I mean, I don't know, but you get that vibe. At least I do. So, all right. Hope everybody gained like 5 pounds. Now and work off 10 pounds from all that good barbecue and that 4th of July food. And we catch you on the next one.